Hello viewers, I'm going to be doing an unpopular opinions book tag, a total of 9 questions, and they range from anywhere from weird to weirder. The first one is a popular book or series that you didn't like, and I know this was turned into a movie, and which made it even worse. I'm only in chapter 37 of this. It's got my black and red bookmark that says wisdom on it with the Japanese kanji on it from Barnes& Noble. I'm only in 37 and I did not like this book. I am not done with it, but I did not like what I've read so far, which is sad. And that goes for that. The next is a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate, but you love. I'm gonna do this series twice, probably, I think. But the first is Aragon. This is part of the Inheritance cycle. It's a series of 4 books. I liked the first 3. I did not like book 4, but I love the first 3, which some people don't like the first 3. This is probably the best of the 4, but the series is amazing. It's definitely worth a try. The next is a love triangle, where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end up with, warning people for spoilers, or an OTP that you didn't like. I have 3. My first, I read this when I was a teenager. It's called In the Hand of the Goddess. It's book 2 in the Song of the Lioness series. She was basically in this love triangle, even though she didn't realize she was in a love triangle, with the Prince Jonathan, and the thief, George Cooper, the rogue, the king of the thieves. She ended up with Prince Jonathan in this one. She stays with Prince Jonathan all through a good majority of book 3. In book 3 and 4, she winds up falling in love with George Cooper. She has a temporary romance with someone else in book 4, but she winds up in the end with George Cooper, which is a massive spoiler for anybody that has not read Tamora Pierce's Song of the Lioness Quartet. One of many of her quartets. She's got 3. I love this series. I actually seriously suggest people read this. I give it 5 stars out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The next in that particular choice is Lorna Glass. She wound up with Dorian in this one. Spoilery. It was between Dorian and Kale. I preferred her with Dorian. Or Kale. I didn't prefer her with Kale in like the later books, Fire and on. But I preferred her with Kale in this one and in Crown of Midnight. And then Kale screwed that up. Spoilers. And she ended up with Dorian in this one. It's not so Crown of Midnight. She ends up with Kale. So yeah. The next in this love triangle OTP thing, my OTP for the ACOTAR trilogy is actually Rhys Sand and Feyre. And Feyre wound up with Tamlin in this one. She's meant to fall in love with Tamlin in this one. But it's, honest to God, between Rhys and Feyre, I really, really, really wish she chose Rhys in this book. I'm glad she chose Rhys in the second one. That's spoilers. But, she chose Tamlin. I hate Tamlin. The next is a popular book genre that you hardly reach for, and that would happen to be classics. I have a few. I've got Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Emma. I've got a lot of classic books. I've got a few, actually. No, I've got a few more than that, but I don't remember them offhand. I don't read them much. I fell in love with Little Women and Pride and Prejudice when I read them. Took a little while for Pride and Prejudice, but I fell in love with it by the end. I don't pick them up because they're not my favorite genre. My favorite genre is high fantasy, epic fantasy, stuff like that. Young adult. I do, however, find that I'm finally getting into young adult contemporary romance. And my favorites happen to be Anna and the French Kiss. And that series by Stephanie Perkins. A popular or beloved book character that you do not like. Once again, going back to Aragon. I did not like Aragon in book 4 in this series. I liked him in this one. I kinda liked him in the other two. I really didn't like Murtaugh in this book. Murtaugh was a jerk and kind of a dick. So, but there's that. The next, in question 6, is a popular author that you can't seem to get into. James Patterson. I read one of James Patterson's books, and I actually started it, but I didn't read any further. And I cannot read his books. I will not read his books. And my girlfriend says that I should read other books, but no, I cannot. So there's that. Popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. Example, Lost Princess, Corrupt Ruler, love triangles. Mine would be love triangles where nice guys get the girl. Nice guys are meant to get the girl in the stories, but sometimes the bad boys are so much cooler. They just, I just love the bad boys. Sometimes it's like Rowan from the Throne of Glass series, mentioned in Arrow Fire. He's got a pure soul, pure heart, but he's such a bad boy. And the scripters, man. Number 8 is a popular book series that you have no interest in reading. I've been watching YouTubers, booktubers actually, mention The Selection by Kiera Cass, and I read part of The Selection. I cannot get into it. I have no intention of reading any more than I did read. I wanted to, but I'm like, I already tried once. It matters not that I didn't have the time to read it at the time. I still cannot. It's slow going. It's much like the Fifth Wave. But in the Fifth Wave, I actually intend to finish it because I've already started it. So yeah, there's that. The saying goes, the book is always better than the movie. But what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book? Probably for that would actually be Game of Thrones. I read the books, I love the books, but the TV series, 6 seasons in out of 8, and I didn't watch season 6 season finale, and I need to, but the next time I go to my father's, because I don't actually have HBO, I'm going to as soon as it is back up there, because I love the series. I have the first 3 seasons, and I really, really, really want to be able to watch the last 13 episodes, because they're going to split 7 and 8 into 2 parts. And I'm looking forward to that. I found that I have a lot of popular opinions on this. My favorite character happens to be Daenerys Targaryen, and yeah, I love Game of Thrones. Even though the books were amazing, I'm still waiting for Winds of Winter, which is why I say that the series so far is better, because George R.R. Martin is slow. If he's watching this, well, oops. So there's that. I'm not going to tag anybody because I figure if you're going to do this challenge, you're going to do it on your own. I will not force you to. I love, love, love books, and I suggest that people may or may not read these books. That is their choice. So that is it for this video. Bye!